Beautiful beaches and coral reefs. This is probably the first image that comes to our mind when we hear someone talk about Andaman. Though many of these islands are now bustling tourist centers, the archipelago also has many uninhabited and protected islands. But it also serves a very different strategic purpose for India. It is to restrict the Chinese intervention in the Indian Ocean region. Through this video, we'll try and understand how Andaman became the most crucial piece in the geopolitical chess game that the two countries have been playing. Even if it is by the sheer count of vessels, China has the largest navy in the world. They have a total of 360 ships including 2 aircraft carriers and 80 submarines. It is worth noting that China has doubled this figure in just 20 years. Though they claim that this is to protect their own coasts and that joining South China Sea, it is pretty obvious that the real motive is to build a blue water navy that can ensure Chinese presence in all the 7 seas. The grand ambition is to match America's might across the oceans. It is widely believed that once China's 3rd aircraft carrier, which is currently under construction, is commissioned in 2023, it will be deployed in the Indian Ocean region. China has already deployed multiple survey ships to the region to map its seabed in order to ensure the safe passage for this humongous 80,000-ton ship. The Chinese intention won't just be to exert influence in the region, it will also be to exploit the rich natural resources available in this region. To make it easier, they may also set up a military base in one of the many uninhabited islands close to the equator in the southern hemisphere. We can never forget how China created artificial islands in the South China Sea in order to create their influence. Once China has such an island base set up in the Indian Ocean, one or more carrier task forces may be operated out of this base and may virtually control the region. One may recall that USA exerted this influence in the Pacific Ocean region in a similar manner in the second half of the 19th century. A Chinese base in the Indian Ocean, similar to Pearl Harbor in the Pacific, will undoubtedly be a huge threat to India. If this happens, our sovereignty may be questioned, not just in the north, but also in the south. Thus, it is imperative to nip any such Chinese schemes right at the bud. This is where Malacca Strait and the neighboring Andaman and Nicobar island chain become relevant. Malacca Strait is the shortest waterway that connects the Indian Ocean with the South China Sea. Annually, over 100,000 cargo ships take this route and carry over 25% of the global cargo. This includes 80% of China's oil imports and a big chunk of their exports. If India controls this region, China would lose access to a key route of global trade. Given that the western end of the Malacca Strait lies at the southern end of the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, it will not be difficult for India to control this region if needed. The ships passing by this region either travel through the 10-degree channel or through the border between India and Indonesia. Hence, by deploying forces in this region, India can easily impose sea denial on China. In 2003, Hu Jintao, the then former Chinese president, had described this as the Malacca dilemma. To integrate and streamline her control over this strait, India has established a tri-service command in Port Blair. This is India's first integrated command in which personnel from Army, Navy, and Air Force work together. While the Air Force protects and supports the warships and submarines that India deploys, the Army will primarily safeguard the bases in the island chain. India has already built multiple naval bases and runways in many key islands in the region. Considering the heightened threat perception in the region, India will likely deploy better warships, fighter jets including MiG-29Ks, and if required, even nuclear warheads. Besides this, India has recently laid high-capacity optical fiber cables from Chennai to Andaman to ensure reliable and secure communication. In short, the Andaman and Nicobar Islands are effectively India's unsinkable natural aircraft carriers, even by an 85,000-ton behemoth. But it would be naive to think that China would abandon their plans for Indian Ocean region just because India has taken these measures. To keep a track of India's defense preparations in the Andamans, China has been trying to set up base nearby in Myanmar's Coco Islands. They've also been scheming to deploy midget submarines next to the Andaman and Nicobar Islands to extract intel. To counter this, India has been collaborating with Japan to install sensors on the seabed to track hostile submarine movements. Apart from this, China has also been working on alternatives to the Malacca Strait and thereby reduce their dependence on it. One such alternative is the Thai Canal. By constructing a canal through Thailand, not only can they avoid the Malacca Strait, but also help their cargo ships shorten their journey by 1200 kilometers. But even this canal won't be able to avoid the Andaman and Nicobar Islands completely. For this reason, China is now focusing on developing the Sunda Strait and the Lombok Strait, both part of Indonesian territory. Though China has border disputes with most other countries in the South Asia, they have had a congenial relationship with Indonesia. However, not only are these routes much longer, the lack of depth in the eastern side of these straits make transit through them very difficult for huge ships. It is estimated that China may have to spend an additional $84 to $220 billion in additional shipping and dredging costs every year. Since they will have to cover up such a huge amount, China may not go ahead with their ambitious plans for Indian Ocean, at least for now. It is pretty clear that this is India's Andaman strategy that puts a stop to China's ambitious plans for Indian Ocean. Checkmate, China.